Hello. I need to take a shower because I'm gross and disgusting. But before I do that, I need to talk about the Society and Rocket Man.
I realized that this video was too long for me to also make it about Rocket Man, but if you want me to make a video about Rocket Man, then comment!
Because I have such strong opinions about both of them, and I need to get them out into the universe. Now, oddly enough, this is a pretty positive video from your girl. I feel like most of the time when I talk about TV, it's usually not all too positive, but today I'm proud to say that both things I'm talking about I really, really like. I feel like you can just see how skinny my arms are in this, so I'm like, I feel like a spider. Someone please edit me where I have 8 arms like a spider. Like this. First, I'm going to talk about the Society. Okay. So, I don't really like dystopian kind of movies and TV shows and books. It's just not really my jam. I feel like that kind of stuff just really depresses me. Like that whole concept of like, see how far society can go, see how far humanity can go, blah, 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 blah. It just makes me sad because I'm like, I don't want to see stories about just people murdering people for no reason, like because they're so desperate because that's the only thing they have. You know what I mean? Like that kind of storyline of like stripping people to their most like desperate state to the point where they can commit terrible acts just makes me really sad. So when I heard about this Society, I didn't want to watch it because I was like, this just makes me sad. I got through like I think the first episode. The episodes are all really long, and I didn't really anticipate that when I started watching, so I kind of started watching, and it was just really boring and very predictable, like classic, like we don't know where we are, let's establish the plot. And it was going on for a very long time, and I was kind of getting bored of it. I was like, whatever, not really that into it, it's fine. Stopped watching. I wait a week. Then, I don't know what the post was, but I saw some post about it. And then I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it another shot. And I am so glad I did. Because like after the first 2 episodes-ish is when the plot really starts to pick up, I'd have to say. It's not for everyone. I'm gonna say it right now. It's not for everyone. If you are the kind of person going into this and you think it's going to be your Walking Dead, The 100, any of those really bad shows, then this is not the show for you. I mean, I feel like it's self-explanatory with the title of The Society, that this isn't a show about survival. Well, it still is about survival, but this isn't a show about like survival, figuring out exactly what kind of world they're in. Like those are obviously major plot points in the show, but when you're coming into it, I feel like the main selling point is how would a group of high school students create a society with no adults present, like by themselves. And that's really interesting to me. That's very Lord of the Flies. That's like a cool concept to me. And there was a lot of really cool, obviously there was a lot of really cool like political metaphors wrapped up in there. We got a very clear like conservative viewpoint versus liberal viewpoint, which I found very funny. Even just the viewpoints of the characters in the show was very, it was very relatable. I don't know, to like, especially how I feel like I talk about like politics with dumb teenage boys at my age. Like, and that concept terrifies me of like, it is the next day, we had to change locations. You see, as I was filming that video, it didn't strike me yet that it was already like 12:30 at night. So I had to go to bed.
Well, it was less I had to go to bed, and it was more I had to shut up because my family was trying to sleep, and me yelling about the society in our bathtub at 12:30 at night isn't that enjoyable.
Um, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. The thought of being on, like, being in a society that was built up with my high school, yeah, my high school. We had to create some kind of political society to govern things in the town to make sure we weren't in complete chaos. And some of the boys in my high school gave their political opinion, and they had just as much of a, you know, seat at the table as anyone else did. Terrifies me because we've all been in like class debates, and we've all had those our teachers like, let's have a fun class debate, and then you get in one and then you realize like all the guys in your class are like super sexist, and you're like, yikes. And again, that in a TV show is kind of cool to see that like horrifying concept. I liked seeing this kind of concept with Lexi a lot. It's like when Allie said to her that Lexi spreads half truths. I thought that was really, and that it's more dangerous than actually telling a lie. I was like, dang, that's really cool, because like, I don't know if we could relate that to a current political figure. Now the show's actually, I've seen online, gotten quite a bit of criticism of people saying that it's very like anti-man. um and honestly, I do kind of get it. Like, when you're watching the show, you're like, wow, all the men in this show, except for Grizz, Sam, and Gordy, and Will. I like Will, or I know, controversial. Those four guys, pretty much, and kind of Luke, but like not really, are like, they're the only good men, and then the rest of them are bad. But first of all, when you really think about it, that's like four, and then let's add Luke, sure, five guys. And then we have like, I don't remember those two guys' names, I'm so sorry. Football guy. Am I forgetting a football guy? I don't think so. Dewey, Campbell, Harry. 5 and 5. So it's pretty equal in the, we have 5 great guys, 5 not great guys. I feel like that's pretty, good, but whatever. But I do get where people are coming from with that, but I don't really see it as that much of a problem. I almost see it as kind of,
A really loud car was driving past my window as I was filming this part, so it might be a little loud here. I apologize, my guys.
I almost see it as kind of like an interesting aspect to the show. We kind of see almost how like ingrained the patriarchy is in our society. Lexi, Allie, and Cassandra, they're 3 women who are trying to create this society, and with that they have to kind of work with these men, but they have to also figure out what to do with these kind of more volatile characters, which usually just ends up being the guys in the show, because let's be honest, it usually ends up being guys who are the ones that are a little more volatile. Because it's really interesting how because Allie's sister Cassandra died because a man saw her as this object that he needed to like get out, like remove from the equation, she enforced more of the guard rule. And with that, the guards got too much power, therefore letting them exploit the women in the town like Lexi, and seeing her as just an object who can just change her period pad in front of them.
Which ends up causing her to speak against the government, and then she goes with Campbell, the town misogynist, and works with the guards, the same men who did this to her.
So it's kind of like the repercussions of this action. Now, I don't have like an exact like opinion, a yes or no kind of thing about this, but I think it's really cool how, first of all, women can be responsible for misogyny happening. How like the patriarchy and governmental rule kind of coincide with one another. Like, and even that whole idea of, it's like, can we completely have a matriarchy? I don't know. Did this show answer the question? I don't know. I'm not smart enough for this conversation, we're gonna continue. All I've been reading for the past couple of days has been Grizz and Sam fanfics. Is that sad? Yes. I'm not reading anything inappropriate, I'm just reading like little soft ones, especially ones, oh my god, I'll read like before like Newham and like them in high school and Grizz like having a crush on Sam. And oh my god, I love them so much. Oh my god. Grizz and Sam are so good. Are so good. I know, okay. Oh, they're so good. Like, I'm gonna, like, why am I getting emotional? I freaking love Grizz so much. Sam, I love. I'm gonna get to him in a minute, but I'm gonna talk about Grizz first. I adore Grizz, and honestly, he reminds me a lot of another character. A little Steve Harrington, if I do say so myself. Now, Steve's not gay, from what we've seen. Maybe he is, I don't know. But he's most likely not gay. Unfortunately. We've started to see this really cool trend, which I adore, where jock characters are like secretly have like a soft side to them, whether it be like babysitting or like reading books. Stuff like that. It makes my heart like melt. When we've seen like those like sweeter, softer male characters, we usually see them in the nerd types. Now, I immediately think of the 80s and 90s where that was every single movie. The nice guy, where, you know, oh, the girls don't notice him because he's a nice guy and he likes this one girl and he creeps on her all the time. And then, you know, they get together in the end. Well, but she's so dumb. She falls for the jock. She doesn't know that there's a perfect guy for her right there if she wasn't so dumb. And he does creepy romantic gestures and whatever. I'm so glad that trope is dying down and we're getting a resurface of the sweet jock. Like, that makes my heart so happy because it's just so like stereotype defying jock guy. None of your toxic masculinity for him. I love that so much. And Grizz is like, okay, I'm gonna talk about sex education again because frick that show. But what was the guy in that show? Adam? Yeah. Adam, the jock in that show who's secretly gay, just in comparison to Grizz finding out he was gay, it's so different and so like much better. And I'm not saying there's like one way to have a jock coming out story. What is my channel? I'm not saying there's one way to have it, but I'm saying there's one way that isn't really predatory and mean and terrible, and there's a great way that it's good. Like, I'm just saying the whole trope of like the jock guy bullying the guy he likes is so bad and so lame and just so like, I hate it more than anything in this world, especially in 2019. Like, do we really need to have that trope anymore? Like, it feels so just like cliche and lame at this point. Like, where in comparison to Grizz, his whole thing is like, he was planning on coming out just after college. He just kind of realized that it's like maybe his football group of friends, it would be like a little weird, which is totally valid. He has seen Sam before. He's kind of had a crush on him before Newham was created. And he always thought he was really, really cute, but he never, like, could do anything about it because he was like, well, like, you know, I'll just wait. It's fine, you know? And, like, how he likes reading books and plays and, like, that kind of stuff. And it's just so sweet and endearing. And, like, I just wish there was a scene where it's, like, we kind of had that at the beginning, but I just wish there was a scene where it's, like, he quoted, like, a famous poem. Or, like, he quoted a poem. And to like one of his football friends, and he was like, what's that? And he was like, it's from this really famous poem, or like it's from this really famous author. How do you not know that? Like, he's like, bro, how do you not know that, bro? And his friend's like, why would I know that, bro? How do you know that, bro? And he's like, next question. Love Grizz so much. We love a stereotype breaking jock who can cry. None of your toxic masculinity. Love him so much. Oh my god, I love Sam so much. Sam is like a sweet angel. I love how it's actually an actor who is deaf. And I love, but also it's like, as much as like that is a part of his character, it's not like his defining character trait. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like such a sweet guy. He loves like, oh my god, like he just loves like, he loves reading. He loves his friend Becca. He's such like a caring person. But his whole identity isn't based off of his deafness. Like, he could have easily, I feel like, been a character who was not deaf, but also, like, with his deafness, it creates such, like, cute moments between him and Grizz, where we see, like, Grizz genuinely trying to, like, find out about Sam and, like, trying to, you know, learn his language. Like, that's so sweet. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I love them so much. Okay, I'm gonna shut up about them, but like, they're great. They're really good. I really like Grizz and Sam a lot. Okay, everyone really likes Harry, and like, everyone really wants like a redemption arc for him, and I'm like, why? Why do you want that? I don't understand. Because when I see Harry, I see, like, I can get as to why, you know, every character should have some kind of redemption arc, but he's just so, like, not great. Like, he's just kind of the worst all the time. I don't know. Maybe it's just, like, my personal gripe with, like, I don't know, he, like, does all these terrible things, but he's gonna just be like, I'm sorry, and then he's gonna get redeemed. Like, that is just like a little bit cliche to me personally. Campbell is interesting. Do I love that he's a psychopath? Honestly, at the beginning of the show, I was like a little bit, okay, so they said he was a psychopath, and we see him getting with Elle, and I, like, a small smidgen of me was hoping that the character arc was going to be he indeed was a psychopath, but he is not like a complete monster, because guess what? Psychopaths aren't monster, or people with psychosis, I'm sorry, aren't monsters. And Elle was kind of gonna like realize this about him, but they were gonna talk about it. They were gonna have a frank conversation. He was gonna be like, I sometimes don't notice myself getting like violent. If I do, run away from me. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like they have some kind of conversation about psychosis, but I think that was just me being a little too hopeful. I don't know. When are we ever gonna get a show about like people with psychosis actually not being monsters? I don't know. But he's like cool. Like, I don't know. Like, he's a good villain. I like him as a villain because again, he feels like a guy in my school. Not like, I'm not thinking of a specific guy, but he just thinks of like, he could go to my high school. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Another thing I like about this show is they don't do flashbacks, because frick flashbacks. I'm sorry. Like, a lot of people keep asking for them in season 2, and if they do them, I'm not going to be like that mad, but okay. Flashbacks are lazy. Flashbacks are lazy. I prefer it happening, like the actions of the show happening in real time. Because guess what? That's how life works. I know we're missing like cute moments where like Grizz and Sam like awkwardly like talk to each other, and like Grizz pining for Sam. Or like even having like Cassandra being like the student body president, and like Campbell being like that bitch. You know, like that kind of stuff. Like, I get that people want to see those kind of moments, but I don't. Like, it's like I do kind of, but like, you should be able to get that through the show. Now, this show isn't perfect. I think it still has a lot of world building to do, especially with the characters. Like, a lot of the relationships I still don't really know. But I don't think the way to do that is flashbacks. Because, again, frick flashbacks. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of seeing them in every post-apocalyptic show ever. I'm sorry. They're so boring. And I like how they're not doing them, and I hope they never do them. I hope that we just see things that are happening. Because what does... Hi, Cooper. Because what does flashbacks do? It just goes, huh, this is how these people are. And now we're back in the sad times. I don't need to see that. Just show me through their actions the sad time, or the things that happened before the sad times. You know? Okay. Do I have any other feelings about the society? This video is already 30 minutes long. I think that's enough to actually make a reasonably sized video. Live long and prosper.